your favorite immigration lawyer, just coming at you today. Welcome, welcome, welcome one and all. We have so many amazing things to talk about. There's so much going on. Wow. So we have parole in place to talk about. Parole in place. Biden's new immigration program that was set to release on August 19th. It did get released, and our office submitted a ton of new cases, tons of them. And then what happened? A federal court, a conservative judge in Texas, issued a stay to temporarily block the program. And in today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be explaining to you exactly what happened. And I'm going to give you my suggestions for what you need to do moving forward. So if you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer. We handle cases in all 50 states and around the world from our offices in California and in the East Coast as well. And I'm really passionate about what I do, about helping people reach their immigration goals. People just like you, people who've been struggling. You've probably been struggling. You probably are confused because our immigration system is so complicated and unfair in the way that it processes cases. So let's talk more about parole in place. So there is a 14-day stay in place from the judge. What that means is that your case, you can file your case with USCIS, but USCIS cannot approve your case. It cannot approve your case. You can file it, but you can't get it approved. So what should you do? Well, let me give you a few pieces of advice. First of all, we're filing cases. We're filing cases until the district court says that we can't. File your case. That's our best advice. Now, what's going to happen with the case? How long is it going to take? Where's it going to go? When's this going to happen? What are the likelihood of success, and so on? All these cases are unclear. All these questions are murky. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know it. So in the face of so much uncertainty, what happens is what I call analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis is where you're not quite sure what to do, so you end up doing nothing. And if you end up doing nothing, guess what happens? Nothing. You're stuck. File your case. File it. Why not file it? It gives you a chance. You don't know the value of this case in the future. So in the face of uncertainty, I would file that case. Mohammed Dawood is here. Welcome. Armando Auto Detailing Rocky is here in the house. Isabel is here. Tasabi Osman is here. By the way, we are live on Facebook. We're live in a Facebook group that we have for visa delay cases that we have with over 20,000 members. We're live on YouTube, of course. We're live on X or Twitter. We're live on TikTok. Let me hear it for TikTok. We're live everywhere. Actually, we're not live on Instagram because I forgot my second phone. Sorry, Instagram. We're not live there. I'm getting my iced tea on. Get a little caffeine in my system. Get myself going. And I'm going to answer all your questions. Any question that you have, just post it. I'll answer every question that you have. How can Canadians move to the U.S.? Well, Canada is a foreign country. It's not the same as the U.S. Canadians have the same exact immigration rules as everyone else, except for one difference. Mexicans and Canadians there's a program called, it's through NAFTA. And it's the, oh man, the name is escaping me right now. The TN visa. Oh my God, I blanked. TN visa. So the Canadians can apply for a TN visa. That's the one difference. They also don't need ESTA and they don't need visitor visas. You can come in for 6 months. Aside from that, Canadians have the same exact immigration rules as anyone else. The fact that the countries are quite similar, I'm sorry, Canada, but we are, leads people to believe that they can just, I'm Canadian, it's different for me, I can just come over here. Here we have a great question. Zakaria, my Nairobi refused because 221G submitted, still refused. So if you're refused or rejected, you need to reach out to it. Zachary, reach out to us. We can help you. Someone said hardly. I think that question was probably a response to my suggestion that Canadians are like Americans. I think Canadians would bristle at that comparison. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So back to parole in place. A 14-day stay, uncertainty beyond that. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. Well, what are some alternatives to parole in place? If you have DACA, you could apply for advanced parole, and then you could travel outside the U.S. You could come back into the U.S., and that would create a proper entry that you can use to adjust your status through marriage to a U.S. citizen. You can also apply for the I-601A waiver. Yes, it's a long process. Yes, it's hard to apply. Yes, it's effort, but this still works. You can get your green card through the I-601A program. We do it all the time. You can do it. It takes time and effort, but it's possible. And finally, you can apply for military parole in place. Why not? Military parole in place. If you have a family member who is eligible, you can do it. Retina scan with citizenship. Yes. When you go there, they take your biometrics, your fingerprints, they take your picture, etc. Yes. Mohammed Dawood said, hey, Josh, I was wondering how much it's going to cost to file mandamus lawsuit by you. The price, the answer to that is it depends. So before I can tell you how much it costs, I have to know more about your case. I have to understand better what your situation is. What kind of case do you have? Is it a visa or a green card? Are you in the U.S.? Is it citizenship? Secondly, where are you located? And how is this case impacting you? And I need to know all the details. And once I know these details, then I can figure out if I can help you. And if I can help you, I will. And if I can't help you, I can give you a price quote. This is how much it's going to cost. But without knowing any details about your case, how much is it? I don't even know if I can help you, right? Does that make sense? Here's someone who got his biometrics taken today through the PIP program. Good to know. Smart person who did this, taking the biometrics and moving forward with their case. How long does it take after doing DNA tests to get a U.S. passport in Nairobi? The answer is the same as how long is a piece of string? It depends. It depends how long a piece of string is. Can a DACA holder own a gun? I don't know the answer to that. Personally, I'm not a gun guy. I don't like guns. Not part of my vibe. Can I apply for a citizenship during a divorce case in court? So this is Mike Gibson. Let me answer your question, Mike. So there are two types of naturalization applications. Well, there are many, but let's leave it at two. There's naturalization after 3 years, which is based on marriage and cohabitation. And then there's naturalization after 5 years. Okay. So if you have naturalization after 5 years, then the fact that you're getting a divorce, not a big deal. It's a biometrical detail. I don't know. If you apply after 3 years, then your marriage is part of your naturalization eligibility. And if you were to get a divorce, that would jeopardize your eligibility. So if you've had a green card for 5 years, yes, you can apply for naturalization, even if you are getting a divorce. Jesus Lover 27, our friend on YouTube, has a question. Does USCIS go only by the FBI database, or do they also look into state and local records as well? So USCIS does a background check on all applicants, and they don't tell you what they're looking at. Maybe they're looking at the FBI database. Maybe they're looking at state and local records. Maybe they're looking at international records. Maybe it's something different. But Jesus Lover 27, I would assume that any records at the state and local level are going to be reviewed by USCIS. USCIS, they know everything. They know it all. So if there's something bad that you're wondering, oh, are they going to find out? They'll find out. They will. And you got to disclose it on the forms anyway, probably. Zoc says, is it normal after being interviewed to receive a recommendation for approval? Asylum agent wants to ask you more. Yeah, it's possible. Don't despair. Do I live in Ohio? My family lives in Ohio, but I don't live in Ohio. I have tons of clients in Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to be visiting Columbus in very soon, and I'll be reporting this here on TikTok and elsewhere. But we have many clients in Columbus, Ohio, especially lots of Somali families. Booker Gunn says, what do you think will be the future of PIP? I think that it will be a long delay. There'll be no final decision anytime soon. There's going to be a long legal battle over what the future of this program will be. And I think ultimately a conservative court will strike this program down. Now, this says nothing about the legal merits of the case or what should happen. That's very different because that's a different matter. What should happen or what are the merits of the arguments? But this is a very political thing, right? The Supreme Court, for example, ruled that Trump had immunity for criminal acts, a license to commit crimes. Now, regardless of what you think about that, do you really think that the Supreme Court would come out with that theory if we had Obama as president or Kamala Harris? Solicito, can I apply for PIP by myself? So when you say by yourself, I think what you mean is without a lawyer, but I assume you're married to a U.S. citizen, right? Let me explain the answer to that. When it comes to immigration, whether or not you use a lawyer is a decision that you have to make. Now, I'm a lawyer. I help people. I'm an immigration lawyer. I help people reach their immigration goals. And if you ask me, do you need to hire a lawyer? Well, it's self-serving for me to say, yeah, you should hire a lawyer. But you got to think about it. Do you really know what to do? How knowledgeable are you? How important is it for you to reach your goal? What are the stakes involved? What if you screw this case up and you waste thousands of dollars in filing fees? Or what if you make a mistake that jeopardizes your future? When you think of the consequences of that, I think it might be worth it to hire a lawyer. If you want to file your case on your own, you are more than welcome to do so. But when I look at the lives that people who've ruined their lives by trying to save a little money and trying to do it themselves, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. Someone said, what's my WhatsApp number? I'm not going to say it because I got in trouble with TikTok. I can't post that here, but I will post it on other channels. If you hang on 1 second. You can go to our website, find this, but let me check. These are great questions. Great questions. Mhm. All right. Fatima says, please answer me. Okay, I will. Priority date is October 31st, 2016. Documentarily qualified, December 22nd, 2002. Case category F2B, all chargeability from Nairobi, Kenya. When to expect? All right, so here's how I answer that. First, I go to the visa bulletin and I look to see if the case is current. F2B is current from May 1st, 2016. So your case is not current, Fatima. Do you understand that? You filed your case on October 31st, and they're working on cases from May. So you're a little bit late. You still need to wait a little longer, unfortunately. Diamond is here. Chad, Penny, Hamadou. What else can I do to help everyone? Let me know, people. Let me know. Mohammed Abbas is here. Thakur Omkar. Godchild. How long does USCIS take to respond after sending in documents? It depends. It's very hard to say. Claudia Elizabeth. For PIP personal statements, how can you prove humanitarian significant benefit if you are unable to work due to status? Well, Claudia, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I mean, if you can't work legally, this has a big impact on your life, right? On your personal life. And I think you could discuss it in those terms. I couldn't live without working. I couldn't support my family without working. So how could you do it? Bryce, what if I overstayed my shipment visa? You mean crewman, I think. You cannot get a green card through adjustment of status if you entered as a crewman. So the options are limited. Booker Gunn says, with the introduction of Heart Service Center and the claim that USCIS will have a total capacity of 480 officers by the end of September, the processing time of I-61A will decrease. Okay, what you're asking me my opinion on that? Processing times have gone through the roof and have skyrocketed. And if you ask me how long something's going to take, USCIS is going to improve their processing times. Okay, but I view this with a grain of salt. Maria Jose, do you think the judge is right? So first of all, this case was filed by a number of Republican states. So I don't think how would the states have standing? If the states had standing for something with immigration, I don't understand that. Like a lot of people, no matter what happens, immigration is a federal thing. It's something that the president has wide discretion to do. Should I get a refund by my lawyer if PIP gets canceled? Well, it depends on you know, everybody who hires a lawyer has to sign a representation agreement, and you know, the terms of those agreements are in that agreement. But did the lawyer say, I will give you a refund and I'm giving you 100% money back guarantee that you're going to get approved? I don't know. I mean, it's a difficult scenario because the lawyer did the work and filed the case. You got to talk to your lawyer. What we try to do is help the clients figure out a way to reach your goal. We have a free consultation, and you can book it by calling our office. And the number is in my bio. You can contact us using the link in my bio. As a DACA recipient, what is better, advanced parole or parole in place? Well, parole in place is kind of stuck. This is Johanna Rangel. If you are a DACA recipient, you should consider advanced parole, because there's nothing stopping you from applying for advanced parole, getting approved for advanced parole, and then traveling and coming back in and filing your case. Parole in place, as I mentioned, is on hold. There's litigation. Jesus Castro, I have an I-601 waiver approved. That's awesome. But I also applied for PIP. Should I move forward with that process too? Yes, you can do more than one thing. You could travel with advanced parole. You already have an approved I-601 waiver, so you can just get your interview and go there and get your visa and come back, and you have your green card. You've already done the hard part. You could apply for parole in place as well, as you did. How long does an I-751 take? Rough guess would be 2 years. Arena Vilanculo, my name is Sebastian African Bernard. I want to know if I can get a work permit. I'm coming from Mozambique. How can I get it? Well, the work permit is given to people who have different types of immigration cases. So you have to find a way to come to the U.S. and you have to sort that out. It's very difficult. PIP, similar case with Haiti, right? Judge appointed by Trump dismissed the case. It's very political. Immigration is political. The court cases are political. It's less about the law and more about, the judges are politicians in robes. Think of it that way. It's not the way it should be. It's the way it is. Maria Jose. She's from Mexico. She says, can you explain the I-601A process and how does it work once approved? So the first thing that I would do is I would explore, for anyone considering the I-601A waiver, I would explore whether it's possible for you to apply for advanced parole and travel and come back in. Because if it is, that might be a better way to go. So the first thing we should do is exhaust that process. Does that make sense, Maria Jose? Do I do asylum cases for people in detention? No, we do not. Can I come for a visitor visa and apply for a green card? No. That's one thing you cannot do, Diana Ross. I thought Diana Ross died, but it must be a different Diana Ross. Blanca Rivera, my son is detained in Texas. After being deported in 2021, he came back in and he was detained. Can you apply for PIP? The answer is no. It sounds to me, Blanca, like your son has a permanent bar issue. Upel says, what's the percentage you think that PIP will continue? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't like to think in terms of percentages because it's really unclear and I can't see the future. Can I still fix my husband even though he was deported once at the border and he didn't get punishment? That's a case we need to look very closely at. Here's someone that says, can you please answer my question? The answer is yes. I can answer your question, or I can try to, but you need to post your question again. Walt says, what is PIP? PIP is parole in place. It comes in two flavors. One, military parole in place. This is a program that's still continuing. If you have a close family member who served in the military, armed forces, or veteran, then that would allow you to fix your immigration status. If you're undocumented and you came in the U.S.
without inspection. However, most people are talking about a new program announced by the Biden administration called Parole in Place, and it has to do with people who are married to U.S. citizens. This program has been in the news because a conservative judge in Texas, issued a stay. Any thoughts on applying for a visitor visa as a C1D visa holder? Does that increase my chances? Our firm doesn't handle visitor visas, so I won't opine on that. Can you work with a visitor visa? No, you can't. Reshmi says, I'm a U.S. citizen. My daughter's in Fiji. If I sponsor my daughter, how long is it going to take to process? All right. So the first question I would ask is your daughter married? Because that's a separate category. Second question I would ask is how old is your daughter today? Because once you turn 21, it takes longer. And finally, I would ask what passport your daughter holds. Because if you're Chinese, Indian, Mexican, or Filipino, then you're put in a separate category. Follow-up question. How can I get a work permit if I'm a foreigner coming from Mozambique? I don't know. I mean, you have to find an immigration case rather than finding a work permit. So what's the correct program for you to get to America? One possibility, if you're from Mozambique, is to apply for the green card lottery. Comes out in the fall and it's free. So consider the green card lottery. Upal says, do you think they'll allow a certain time frame for when people applied to the 14 days? I don't know what will happen. Nobody does. So the best scenario, file your application for parole in place and look for a solution. Can my girlfriend sponsor me? I don't know. Possibly. One consideration would be the fiancé visa. If your girlfriend is thinking about marrying you and your girlfriend's a U.S. citizen, that might be possible. Might be possible. Here's a question from Al-Batiti. What's the green card lottery and how does it? Seraphine, so good to see you. What? Let's see here. Here's one. Wife's case has been documentarily qualified since November 2022. We had our child in March 2024. We added him to the case. After becoming a citizen, I discovered I need to file separately for your son. Yes, this is why people need to hire a lawyer. If Al-Bahati, if I had been your lawyer, I would say, don't do that. Don't do that, because then that's different. So you need to file with the embassy, and it's going to take a very long time. What happens? Yeah, you're going to have to wait a while. That's a mistake, but what can you do? Uh-oh, we have a friend from South Sioux City. Hello. So good to see everyone. Sean, my case has been in 221G for over 8 months. Now it's an I-130. Can I do a lawsuit now? Yes. Sean, it's good to see you back on here live. Give us a call and book a consultation with us, we can help you out. H-1B stuck for a year. That's another case we can help with. We got you, Sean. How long does removal of conditions take in New York? I'd say about a year. Here's someone who wants to talk to me from Ecuador. You can book a free consultation with our team by giving us a call or reach out to us on WhatsApp. Use the link in our bio. We offer free consultations for people. So I hope that helps. Yes, give us a call, Sharian. Yes, diversity visa lottery programs. It's a green card lottery. You apply, it's free. It's an awesome way to get a green card. And if you get stuck in administrative processing, we can help. You have to be resolved. You have to have your case resolved very soon by September 30th. So, Sharian, we got you. Check the link in my bio for our firm. A link to our firm. Bryce, you can book a consultation with our team. That's the first step in our office. Someone said they called, but I'm busy. Obviously, I can't take your call right now because I'm on live on social media. Here's a question from Booker Gunn. When someone applied for adjustment of status, does USCIS officer review even a 10 to 15-year-old interview at the consulate? Yes. All that old stuff from 15 years ago that you thought was beyond, that they're not going to know about. So like sometimes people will try to get a visitor visa, by claiming that they were married when they weren't married. That'll come back. They'll know about that. They may. The skeletons in your closet that you forgot about, or that you're hoping that they forget about. What does a Trump win mean for a green card holder? I'm not sure. It may mean bad things for family members, for your community. I'd expect that if you're a green card holder and you apply for naturalization, it's not going to, the immigration system will be in the hands of someone who hates immigrants. That's what we can expect if Trump wins. Will my husband's physical disability affect his chance of being approved? He's in the DR. I would say no. I'd need to know more about it, but shouldn't. Mosh Cutie says I-765. That's a work permit application. It's pending under C10 category for 17 months. What should I do? You should reach out to us because that's too long. We can help you with it. Ruben says, Rubin, can my dad help me adjust status? I'm 30. He's a permanent resident since 50 years ago. Or is it better for the case for him to become a citizen? Well, that's a little bit complicated, and I would like to I mean, our team would need to review your situation, come up with a plan to help you out. Can I apply for a green card while on probation? It depends on why you're on probation and what the conviction's for and so on. I'd need to look at it more closely. Let me know what's going on. How is the IA-24 looking? So I have a theory about the IA-24, and that is it's almost always the wrong application to file. Almost always. So before you file an IA-24, you better lawyer up because it's usually a sign that you're on the wrong track. Sort of like a multiple choice test where you've got 4 answers, 3 of them are wrong, 1 of them is right, and the answer that's always wrong is the IA-24. That's kind of how I view it. What is the 4-year and 1-day rule? From Franco. Great question, Franco. Here's what it is. If you've been out of the US for a long time and you violated the residency requirement with your green card and you want to apply for the naturalization, you need to reestablish residency. And you can do that by coming back to the US and living here for 4 years and 1 day. Once you've been here 4 years and 1 day and you meet all the other requirements for naturalization, then you are good to go. Good to go. Can my husband visit me while we wait for the I-130? Perhaps. Perhaps you can. Nabras, is a lawsuit effective? If you have a delayed immigration case, a mandamus lawsuit is highly effective. What if the case gets a motion to dismiss? If you get a motion to dismiss, we fight back and we fight to win. That's it. Is a 20-year age gap a red flag? Yes, it's a red flag, especially, you have to prove that you have a genuine relationship. It's not just something that you entered into for the purposes of getting a green card or getting immigration status. So it is a red flag. It doesn't mean you can't win the case. You can do it, but you have to show that the relationship is genuine. Sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes it's very hard to do that. Here's Delroy. I'm Jamaican. My wife is a U.S. citizen, and we filed an I-130 at the Nebraska Service Center in August 2023. What's a timeline to be approved? Send to the NVC for a visa appointment. It's very difficult to predict how long such a case might take, but let me throw out some ideas, Delroy. First, you could expect the I-130 to take 6 to 8 months. You could expect another 6 to 8 months to go through the National Visa Center. And then after that, another 6 months for getting your interview. So I would say 18 months, but we'll have to see what happens. 18 months is roughly how long it might take. Does that make sense? Do you think people should submit their application for parole or wait? I'm not a fan of waiting. I don't think you should wait. I think you should file your case. File it, file it, file it. Where it's going, I don't know. It might not work, but why not try it? And then in the meantime, explore alternatives. Look at the I-601A. Could you travel with advanced parole and come back? Are there any military members of your family? 3 things you can do. I'm a U.S. citizen. I want to bring my wife from Pakistan. What do I need? Well, you need a good lawyer who loves Pakistani people like me. But the short answer to your question beyond that is you need to file a visa petition, and you need a petition for your wife. Is it going to take time? Yes. Could be 18 months, but that's what you need to do. We can help you do it. You can do it on your own, but that's what you need to do. Go to your biometrics. Go to your biometrics song.